This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen The Point, an animated fantasy adventure movie from Fred Wolf made back in 1971. Set in a strange kingdom where everything and everybody has a physical point, whether it be on the roof of a building or right there on their head, a child named Oblio is a standout due to the simple fact that he was born without a point. Although he wears a hat to hide this, he is still well accepted by the community, save for a count and his son, the latter of whom is shown up by Oblio and his dog Arrow during a competition. Enraged, the Count uses his influence to see Oblio and Arrow banished due to Oblio's lack of a point, which apparently goes against local law. Reluctantly, the king agrees, and the two are sent to the pointless forest. However, when they reach the forest, they find that it and its denizens do in fact have a point, and with their help, maybe Oblio can find his as well. I think you can see how this story might end, but it's not exactly trying to be something complicated or even subtle about its message. It's pretty clear in its themes and ideas, especially when the physical points become more symbolic. The writing keeps things simple as well, moving from scene to scene in a pretty smooth fashion, and without jumping around too much between locations or ideas in an illogical manner. All in all, it's pretty much a story that understands its younger target audience and knows not to overload them with anything complex, which is a notion strengthened by a framing story of a father telling his son the story that becomes the film. While the characters being simpler and flatter is understandable because of this, the dialogue doing the same does leave a bit to be desired. It does start off straightforward enough, but eventually it starts to veer into a somewhat confusing direction, though in a way it seems to be the point that despite the surreal nature in these scenes, there is still something to take away, even if it does seem like a bit of a stretch. Whatever the case, the production of the movie certainly likes to straddle between an objective reality and a surreal perspective, thanks to the animation, of course. The art design is, in a good way, definitely a product of its time, with a simple style that defies most rules of perspective to create expressive environments. From seemingly endless forests to truly impossible cities, and the many other sights found within all of these. The color design within these scenes is very nice as well, with a good balance between background settings and foreground characters, the latter usually standing out through brighter or more saturated colors. Audio design, or more specifically the film's dialogue, comes through very naturally, with characters often overlapping or interrupting each other almost casually. Things start to ramp up a lot when the movie takes a surreal approach during musical numbers, of which there are a handful, though they're more like short stops for a music video rather than actual numbers. Anyways, they tend to take some time illustrating the lyrical content in interesting ways, mixing surreal images and wilder color palettes to make these segments adventures all of their own. But while these somewhat psychedelic parts are enjoyable and enticing, they are still only standalone and don't really factor into the actual story. However, the story isn't necessarily in need of a musical element to get its point across, given how straightforward it is when it comes to its themes. Overall, the movie knows what it wants to say, and then it says it. Then it fills in everything else with a wild array of colors and images, making this a film that offers more than the basic surface level trappings of a standard kids movie. The Point. Fred Wolf, 1971. 3.5 stars. I'd say it's worth seeing for yourself. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have something to add, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I tried pretty hard to avoid saying The Point over and over again in this review, but I think a few snuck in there anyway. I'm too lazy to go back and rewrite it all though.